The Barnum effect, somewhat understandably named after the showman P.T. Barnum, and also sometimes known as the Forer effect. Now, using a couple of key phrases about Barnum, there is a sucker born every minute, and every crowd has a silver lining. Though neither of these were actually said by him, you may start to get a feeling about where this is actually going. Shortly after the Second World War, Bertram Forer, a psychologist, carried out an experiment with a group of students. He gave each of them what they thought were individual personality assessments. However, in reality, they were all exactly the same personality assessments. What's more, they were actually taken from a book on astrology. The assessments contain statements like, you have a tendency to be critical of yourself. Whilst you have some personality weaknesses, you're generally able to compensate for them, and some of your aspirations tend to be pretty unrealistic. Because all of these statements, though appearing on the surface to be carrying specific information on the traits of the individual, they were in fact all either very general or could be applied to varying degrees to almost everyone. When the students read and reviewed their supposedly individual reports, they evaluated the reports as very accurate indeed. The test has since been repeated many times. Each time when the students are unaware of the Fourier effect, they again rate the reports on their personalities as being very accurate. So leaves us the question, what's actually going on here? Why are so many supposedly intelligent people fooled in this particular way? Is it really true that you can fool all of the people some of the time and some of the people all of the time? Well, part of it's down to believing the person giving the actual assessment itself. Are they a reliable professional? Like a doctor giving you a pill or a teacher telling you a fact, you're predisposed to assume that these people won't actually deliberately lie to you or mislead you, and they're actually acting in your generally best interests. Next, it's also we're generally predisposed to think of ourselves in a generally positive manner, something which is occasionally called a self-serving bias. So the personality assessment has a fairly high proportion of what might be considered positive personality traits, or at least not many negative ones. We're more likely to think of the assessment as a whole as being accurate representation of ourselves. Finally, certain types of people are actually more vulnerable or gullible to this kind of manipulation than others. This vulnerability is independent of the person's general intelligence. However, once you're aware of the signs, you're less likely to be fooled. Generally, people who believe in astrology, faith healing, card readers, graphologists, palm readers, cold reading, or even religion in general, were far more likely to believe that their psychological profile was correct, and those who had a more sceptical outlook on the world would be less convinced by such general, bland statements. Quick proof of this can be seen in a cookie or a biscuit test. Now, if you generally eat your biscuit whole, you're fun and interesting. If you bite into your biscuit piece by piece, you're relaxed and normal. And if you dunk your biscuit, you're a positive and sociable person. Now, whilst it may appear that you agree with the statement that goes in the manner that you generally eat your cookie or biscuit, do you now agree that the other two statements don't apply to you? Alternatively, have a friend read out all 12 horoscopes published on one particular day without telling you which sign they relate to, and see if you can see whether any of them stand out from the rest as being more or less accurate about you. So that's a quick look at the Barnum effect. Or was it?